Positive thoughts in this system of things and namaste. So we're going to carry on to part 3 of how to overcome childhood emotional neglect. As I said in the last podcast, um, many try to normalise the situation, or they live in denial, um, or even put the blame on themselves, or have feelings of aggressiveness or anger, or not being able to sleep properly. Just all of these feelings that go through a person. So you sit back and you reflect and you say, that's where it came from. When looking at it and reflect, you analyse and you understood it and then stop the behaviour. So it's important to see what's going on here, on how to fix it. When you see repeated patterns in your life, for example, which I've experienced, um, broken relationships, for example, again in the repeated patterns. Um, so it's really important to validate the trauma, and it's not by playing victim. Don't do that, or having a pity party. This happened to me, and the effect it has on me was this. But now I see that when I was 7, my mum was out most of the night. I learned to fear being alone because she worked nights. It made me very needy. But hey, I am 7 and I could be on my own. In fact, I love my own company. So I can understand where this neediness comes from. I attach myself to anyone rather than be alone. So at 7, I was dependent. At 31, I'm independent. I don't have to attach myself to anyone. I love my own company. That's how it works. I see now. Validate what happened. Make sense of it. Understand the triggers it brought up in you. Then I free myself from them. You learn to practice self-care and self-love, more importantly, and tell yourself something better. I'm okay on my own. In fact, I choose aloneness rather than being with the wrong person. I may have lived on chips and burgers. That does not mean you can't live on fresh fruit and a super healthy diet of food. It's also important to put up boundaries. If your parents are still dysfunctional and still diminish you, you see them less. You do not let their critical behaviour in. You keep your distance. You keep your distance emotionally. And of course, you have to see your elderly parents because they're frail. You say, oh well, you were such a disappointment. You were never bright. You were never going to amount for anything. Of course you're on your own. Who's going to marry you? Many parents don't seem that interested in their children as a child. But when they get older, the role switches. And for many, all they want is you. So be kind to yourself. Be nice to yourself. Think of a song like from Adele, Go Easy on You. Be nice. Be kind. Be patient to yourself. Be humble. Be loving. Become your own best friend. Become your own shining star. Say to yourself, you're doing great. You're doing amazing. You're a good person. You had emotional neglect. The opposite is to be praised, to be nourished, to be nurtured. It is never too late to do it, to yourself, and it can be taken away from you. So even if, another gave it to you, they could one day take it away from you. So work on yourself and the inner work. That's more important than anything. By filling yourself up, by loving yourself with love and wholeness, not being needy, but basically, but being self-contained, secure within yourself, self-trusting, with high self-esteem, your self-worth. You give yourself the praise and the love that you deserve, the nourishment, the support, the encouragement that you did not get as a child. You work on yourself and love yourself. So no one can do that better than you can. So be the best version of yourself and learn to love yourself and praise yourself and give all that wholeness and all that love to yourself. It doesn't matter how long it takes, just take each day at a time. But anyone out there that has suffered emotional neglect as a child, or children that have gone through this or going through it, this is my advice as a therapist on how to overcome that childhood emotional neglect, which goes into many people's adult lives, what they went through as a child, and it has an effect on their relationships and so forth. But these are ways to overcome it and working on yourself and doing what I've just said. Right, okay, positive thoughts in the system of things. Namaste. I'll speak to you soon with some podcasts. Bye for now.